Greetings, everybody. Welcome to episode number 19 of 1 Degree of Scandalous with Kato Kalin and Tom Zenner.
I love Kato. I want to meet him.
You have a crush on that guy. I can tell. I hear it every week.
I was in the mirror and we get along.
Okay, we've talked about your hair every week. It looks good, but it's going to be rivaled with our guest. Don't even talk about our guest yet, but you're going to see. It's a little hair competition.
I think he might have the old Kato hair. I used to rent mine out, and if our guest rented my hair, I'm going to find out. I should charge extra money.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Pleasure to be back here at Action Park Media. Yeah. The second time we're here at Kevin Connolly's studio, and I just love the change already. The energy over here is phenomenal. So, hey, download our show. If you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you share it with people because, well, this episode's going to be phenomenal. This one's going to be off the charts. If you remember Nipple-Gate, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl in 2004, we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes in a big way.
And it was just funny you said that because my just in the bathroom, I got my penis caught in my zipper. And I was thinking of just having Penis-Gate. Is there a possibility?
Well,
Zipper-Gate?
Kato,
it wasn't on camera, was it?
I thought
Kevin,
you fixed this problem going all Velcro.
You know me.
Sheng Yi let you have another zipper?
Sheng Yi, my wife, she gave me
Hey, by the way, everybody, so Mr. Kalin over here, I don't know if you signed an NDA or something, but you did film a movie this week. Can I talk about it? Is that okay?
I did film a part. I can say I'll tell you what, I love the title, and the title is Pay to Die. It's a horror film. Horror with lots of humor, but one of the people that's in it is a gentleman from Saturday Night Live, and I love him, and he's very funny, and that's all I'll say. And when they give me the right that I can talk about it, I'll promote it.
Okay, can't wait.
I did a thing. I did a one-day shoot. Maybe I'll have more because they kept asking me to do more lines, which is always a good thing.
Sure.
When they ask you to do more, you're nailing it.
Were you killed? Did you kill somebody? What'd you do in this horror movie?
My part is I'm a life coach. Full of energy, and I'm giving the
somebody wanted to kill you.
The lead actress, I'm giving her all the encouragement. But there's killings that are going around the entire film while she's looking for encouragement because the plot is this: she's a actress, she's getting her first film, but it's a big budget film for her, and she's freaking out because she can't take the pressure of being an actress. While that's going on, people are being murdered on the set.
I bet you're a good actor. I bet you are. I bet the K train shows up on set and you can, like a chameleon, turn into whatever they need. But
100%. Yeah. I'm very focused.
You know what? Let's try to get roles for us on a soap opera. That is my lifetime goal. I would love to be on a soap opera.
Mine was game show host.
It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. 1 Degree of Scandalous is going to help us achieve all our dreams. All right, you ready to get into it for this week?
I am. I can't wait to see our guest. I can't wait to see just his hair.
Yeah, hey, look, we've been working on this guest for a few months, and I'm glad I was persistent, and I'm glad he found time in his very, very busy schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to know the name, you're going to know the face, you're going to love hearing his story. Let's bring him in from New York City, Mr. Wayne Scott Lukas.
Big fan. Woo!
Celebrity fashion stylist.
Boys.
For some of the biggest names in the history of Hollywood, movie stars, fashionistas, A-list icons, it doesn't matter. He's worked with them all.
I watched your, Tom sent me a PR reel, and I was like blown away, Wayne Scott, of everybody from Claudia Schiffer to Cindy Crawford to Janet Jackson to, I know there's a thousand more names. I know, Wayne, why don't you throw in the names there? Letterman had, I think, Glenn Close.
You know what it is? I've worked with, it's been 38 years. I've worked with every single person in the business, and they all suck. Maybe 2 of them are good. So are you saying the name?
Like literally, like you feel comfortable saying that if we give you a big name, you'll tell us if they were cool or if they sucked?
Absolutely. But start with Lou Henner because I can't stand her.
All right, we'll start with
Lou Henner from Taxi. She has the recall memory. She remembers everything that's happened in her life.
She doesn't remember. You know what she doesn't remember? She doesn't remember that her bra was dirty. She never washed it. The armpits were stained. And she said that her breasts were like the heads of 2 newborn babies. It's like, oh, that's really exciting. And then the big trick, when she wants to make her tits get bigger, she pins the back of her bra to the top of her stockings, but then she shows you how she does it. So she's naked. She grabs her stocking, she makes a wedgie and pulls it up her ass, which you're already swooning. You're like disgusted. And then she pins that dirty bra to the stocking waistband. The tits go up, the vagina goes down, the party's over.
Wait, I'm going to try that now. Hold on, Wayne.
Hey, wait, the bad thing for her is you have a great memory. And you know what? If she was cool, That would be redeeming, right? That'd be a nice little quality of her imagination. But because you know who she is or whatever, however she acted on set or whatever, it's not a very positive thing.
I did Mary Lou's show.
You did?
We got along very well. Lots of laughs.
It's hard to hear you. I'm having a hard time hearing you guys, so it's not loud for me. So
I did Mary Lou's show, by the way. I didn't know all that stuff. Had I known that before, and I would have asked you to do the breast trick.
Ask her to do the newborn baby head trick where she pulls the stockings up her asshole.
I love it. So that's one person that Wayne talked about. I would say who are the two good ones, but we'll wait for that. We like the negative first.
Here, let me throw one at you. This is a one-worder, okay? You ready?
But you know what? I got to tell you something. The good ones are really good. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay, here's one. It's a one-word icon. Oprah. Oprah. Oprah.
Oh, Oprah, I don't care. Spread it across the international newswire is the worst. You know what Oprah's favorite thing is? I'm not going to mention Gail. Let me go. I was going to say Gail's Bush, but that's rude. So we were on Oprah's show for the Nutty Professor premiere. It was Eddie Murphy, Janet Jackson, and then Oprah, like the three sing on the set. Right. So I ran onto the set to say, to fix Janet's outfit. And I've been with Janet at that point, like 25 years or so. So I run over, I'm on my knees on the floor. Janet is here and Oprah's next to her. I'm on my knees and I'm fixing Janet's boot. And Oprah says, "Oh, Janet, whose boots are those?" And Janet looked at me and I looked up and she goes, "Lukas." And I go, "Oh, Miss Winfrey, those are Christian Louboutin." And he was new. No one had worn him yet. And Oprah goes, "Janet, by the way, whose boots are those?" And Janet looked at me and I looked at her and I looked up and I'm on my knees now worshiping Oprah's bunions. You've seen those bunions. I'm on the floor and I look up and I go, "They're Christian Louboutin." And as I said it, she said, "Janet," as if
you couldn't answer.
Yeah. The peasant.
Do not answer the question.
Oh, God. Are you serious?
And I was 4 feet from her big face. So I just sat there and I looked up and Janet looked at me. She went, and because she knew that the old me would have said something.
Sure.
But, when you're in someone else's house, you don't say anything. So I just got quiet and Janet said, "Lukas." And then Janet looked up. She goes, "Oprah, they're Christian Louboutin. He's a new designer here." She said, "Oh, those boots are lovely, Janet."
Unbelievable.
And I just kind of and then it was like, "Okay, boy, now get me water." It was like I had to crawl off the set like I was a loser.
You know what is it with these talk show hosts, right? The infamous stories where you can't make eye contact with them, right? She would only address Janet? That's a joke.
This is what I think the problem was. When Janet walked on the set, we had spent, Janet has great hair and makeup. Kevin Aquan, who passed away, was her makeup artist. He would take 4 and 5 hours to get her ready. So we're coming on. Now, they took about 4 hours for makeup. If I'm talking too much, stop me. And they took about maybe 3 hours for hair. So Janet's hair looks flawless. She's going on the set. It's Eddie Murphy. It's all these people are cheering. And Janet walks out from backstage. And I don't care if Oprah doesn't agree. She can debate me on this. Janet walked out from backstage, and it's going to be in my book coming out. I call it Rooting. She walked up to Janet and she jammed her fingers in Janet's scalp. She didn't say hello. She didn't say how are you. She just jammed her fingers. And it's called rooting. And what that is black girls do it to black girls to, Cato, to see whose hair is real. They want to check for a weave.
Weird.
And I think, and Janet said, "Did you see what she just did to me?" And I said, "I saw it." And I think what you just said is because they want to throw you off before you get on the set.
Was she rooting?
They want to come, it's almost like they want to pee on you before they start asking you questions.
Was Janet rooting? Was it real hair?
It was real, but you don't want Oprah pee on you.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, if you're thinking this voice and this face sounds familiar, of course, What Not to Wear. How many years did you do that show, Lukas? How many years? What Not to Wear?
I launched the show with BBC America. I was one of the launching people on the show. And Stacey was not easy to work with, but I did the job and I didn't want to ever be in front of the camera. I don't do a lot of these, right? Mm-hmm. So I launched the show. Clinton said he wanted to write an article about me. This guy Clinton that my neighbor introduced me to on a blind date. I went on the date to a restaurant called Big Fun, this Chinese restaurant. Clinton walked out and he had no chin. I don't like people with no chin, but I thought, what, the body's good. I'll put up with no chin. So
at the Chinese restaurant, there were probably a lot of chins. But seriously,
you know what? I love you for that. That was my joke. It was coming.
Jesus, the K train knows everything.
It had more chins than Clinton Kelly in a Chinese restaurant.
That one in Hollywood is chin. That's a double chin.
Perfect. So I went to. He said, "Oh, I want to write an article about you. It'd be so great." I said, "Okay, right." So I do the article. I tell him I'm leaving the show in a year. wouldn't you know that I'm doing Jennifer in Style magazine a couple days later, and my assistant Ron, and I don't want to go to jail for this, so I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to incriminate him, but he saw Clinton in a club the night before partying with his boyfriend. And they asked my assistant Ron to come home for a three-way. And my assistant goes, "You know who I am, do you?" And he goes, "No, who are you?" He goes, "I'm Wayne Scott Lucas's assistant." And his face went white because he had no idea. He went behind my back, got a headhunter, got an agent, and got my job.
Jesus.
Ruthless. That's unbelievable.
Tom had a three-way.
He had my job after one season. I was out.
God, that sucks.
Thing, yeah.
Tom had a three-way last weekend, but he had 2 no-shows.
Story of my life. All right, we're mentioning some big names, some Hollywood lore, A-listers here. One that jumps out at me, Glenn Close, because she was in one of my favorite movies of all time. Not Fatal Attraction, Jagged Edge. I don't know what it was about that movie. It came out in 1985. I love that movie. Do you remember that with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, of course I remember.
Phenomenal movie. Hey, now, Lukas, tell me a little bit about working with her, and I know there's a little backstory about maybe some of the props from that movie, right?
The weirdest thing with Glenn was when I got to Glenn's house, I'm known for over prepping because I don't want to fail in a job. So I brought about 95, 100, no joke, 100 racks to her house in Bedford. And little did I know she was sleeping with her carpenter. So she let him hand paint the whole house. So any trim in the house was hand painted. The table was hand painted. This was hand painted. So you couldn't touch anything in the house because the boyfriend did all the work. So I set up all the clothes. I had sweaters. And I was so excited. And I still, not anymore, but I get starstruck and scared a lot because I'm a kid from New Jersey. And even though I joke like this, I don't have an ego anymore. I used to, but it's just, I get nervous and I get shy and I don't want to fail. So she came in and she goes, "Who is this? Think about Sunset Boulevard. And who is this man in my house? And why is he ruining the hand-painted furniture?" Like this whole performance. And I'm thinking to myself, this lady's crazy. So she said, "Get those racks away from the walls and get that." And I'm thinking to myself, I've been here for 7 hours setting up this set for you. We were doing press for 101 Dalmatians and Dancing at Lunesta, 2 movies. And once she saw me pull the clothes out and saw what I did, they fall in love with you. But the initial thing was, I was a piece of shit. God. I was ruining her house and I was a nobody. And that's just anybody out there listening. That's most celebrities because there's so much insecurity. They treat you like shit because they feel like shit. So then when she got nice to me, and I love her now, but when she got nice to me, she said, I want to show you something.
Do you think that are celebrities still like that? Has it changed because of social media and how they can be exposed?
I don't want to overtalk. Kato knows too, because it's like you can't trust that any of them are real, kind, and honest when you meet them. And then when you meet a good one, you believe in them, and then they turn on you when their agent says, "Don't hang out with him anymore."
I used to call her Glenn, don't get close to me.
Who is it?
Glenn, don't get close to me.
Yeah.
Words to live by.
Words to live by with that. But yeah,
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Thank you, David. I think you're absolutely right. When I was mega famous, I knew I could pick up who was just wanted to become friends to get maybe a free cocktail or whatever. But it was insanity.
But you know what? But the thing was, you end up really empty in this business. And Glenn took me out to her barn then, and she said, "I want to show you something." And she has a barn with like walls of drawers. And she pulls out the drawers, and in the drawers is every costume she's ever worn. And that's the magic of celebrity. And then on the wall, she's got, I told you guys earlier, the Fatal Attraction knife is framed in a frame with the date, when the movie was. And you start to go like, these are great people when you get to know them and fall in love with them. When they let you in, they're great, but you never can feel safe that it's going to be great forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. But, a guy with the reputation that you have, in the fashion world on top of his game, do they just not recognize you or they hadn't met you yet? You think they had a little more respect off the top?
I don't think that anybody young people that want to be singers and they want to be in videos and they want to be famous, those people that are so desperate for the next level, they're very kind and they're very thankful because you have an iconic reputation. But you still get a lot of people that are angry. And most of what's happening now is the people that I'm still working, but a lot of people in my generation that I came up with, they're not working. And you have to keep changing. You have to that's why I'm doing NFTs. That's why I'm doing Instagram. And you have to keep up with the times. Yeah. And also, as much as I'm being funny with you guys, I had to kill my ego. if you don't kill your ego and forget where you came from, you're never going to last in this world or this business,
100%,
right?
100%. You're never too big. I have a question for you, Wayne, because I researched you. I wanted to know, what was your pitch meeting like? Was
I naked?
I'm going to find out if you were naked, because you might have been for this pitch meeting. The video was the most expensive video. How do you convince the gang that you're going to use cock rings? On the Busta Rhymes, Janet Jackson video, the Guinness Book of World Records, 750 cock rings. What was that meeting like, and how did you know that was the record?
Yeah, and how'd you find them all? You had to go shop for them.
Yeah. It was just like this. I reached in my pants. I pulled out my cock ring. No, it was polo. It was this.
Marco Polo.
Madonna had just did that video Sex where they were all in vinyl clothes. And that vinyl thing was like the hot new thing everybody was doing. And I went to the sex shop and I said to this guy, I have to dress Janet they asked me to dress Janet Jackson as the year 2000 Catwoman. They wanted a whip. I go, that is so stupid. And year 2000 back then was like the future. Hello. Yeah. So I said, why don't we make her hair the whip? Why don't we make and the feathers, the feathers in her eyes, you heard those are called cock feathers. Those are from a cock, a rooster.
Yes.
Hello, COQ.
Yes.
So Chris Kardashian would know that. So the cock feathers and
hey, cock-a-doodle-doo. Wayne, any cock will do.
Yeah, any cock will do. So what I did was I was at the sex shop and we needed things that were going to make some sound when she walked. And I looked around and there was this display case. And I go, what are these? They were small. And he goes, those are cock rings. I go, and I don't want to be, I can't say a Chinese joke right now. Well, they were small and they were small cock rings. So I go, you know what? Do they have them bigger? He goes, yeah, they come in all sizes. So I said, so do we all. So he showed me all the sizes of the cock rings. And I go, the train was about 750 feet long, In the video, it doesn't look as long as it was. But we took all the vinyl out of New York and we sewed cock rings all the way down the side because Janet secretly is really funny. She's really smart, and she's got this sexy, crazy side. She's got piercings everywhere, and she's got tattoos of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse screwing right on her crotch. I mean, she's a wild girl. So when I said, Janet, these are cock rings, she goes, don't tell anybody yet, Lukas. So I didn't, and we did the whole thing, and then we were the first ones to pierce the fingernails. So we pierced all the fingernails. If you look at the video, all the fingernails have a cock piercing in them. And we never told anybody until this last thing that came out. She said it live on YouTube that it was, but people that knew thought it was genius. But how else do you do dominatrix without an outfit covered in cock rings?
And became a world's record. And so from doing that and becoming friends with Janet, were you ever invited to Christmases or New Year's Eve? And was Michael part of that? I'm sure people ask you that.
Say that part again?
Well, because you were obviously very close to Janet Jackson and her brother Michael. So I was wondering, did you ever go to Christmas at Janet's house or spend quality time on holidays and Michael would pop in?
Janet would travel a lot. Janet was always traveling on the holidays, and Janet's family always got together, the whole family. Sometimes Michael, sometimes not, but they always had Thanksgivings together, especially in Malibu. I used to love her preparing for Thanksgiving because the private Janet is the magic Janet. And I will tell you that I met Michael 3 times, and I'm most devastated because he's absolutely not the person that the public has made him, and he's not the person that you think you know. Like a video just came out yesterday on Instagram where Michael's using a deep voice when he's singing, and I know that Michael. And I know that he was very quiet, very private. I have nothing bad to say about him, and I will say bad things about people if I feel that they were bad. But
we got 2 good people so far. So Michael and Janet.
I feel that Michael's magic comes through this earth just once in a while, and they spread dust all over, magic dust. And I will say this, and you don't have to agree with me or not, but he came, he gave us what the world needed, and he left.
You can only talk about what you know. And if that was the experience you had with him, because you're very outspoken, if you saw something different, you tell us.
I was with the family for 38 years, and I'm in private conversations, and I'm in lawyer meetings, and I'm all over the place. And I would tell you guys if I felt something was untoward. And I'm going to tell you something. There was magic that came through that family, and he was the magic.
Yeah. Was Janet... I mean, he died in 2009. Were you still with Janet at that time? Was she always defending him, or how was that dynamics when it turned into a terrible court case?
She didn't have to defend him. What I would say is, without speaking out of school, when Oprah questioned Michael and asked him rude questions, Janet didn't like Oprah after that happened for a minute. Like, she did get really upset when her brother was being treated bad. And it really upset her to the point that we'd have to stop and just breathe for a minute. But I'm the one that called Janet. I couldn't find Janet. I was watching TV on the Jersey Shore. I was down the beach, and it said Michael Jackson's dead on the screen, and there was a big car driving to the hospital. And I called Janet. I couldn't find her. So I called Janet Jackson's hairdresser, Janet Satoon, and I said, is Janet there? She goes, I can't say if she's here right now. I said, Michael's dead. And they said, no, he's not. I said, Janet, Michael's dead. And Janet Satoon said, Wayne, please don't tell me that I said Michael's dead. So she goes, I got to call you back. She hung up the phone, and little did you know, he was dead. It had been announced on TV before anybody knew about it, but I called her team and told her team, and I guess, I don't know if she was there or not.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So they heard it from a friendly voice, at least, right?
But I was there when he was with Lisa Marie, and I shaded Lisa Marie so bad. And now looking back, seeing the Elvis movie and knowing about the history of the Presleys, I should have been nicer to Lisa Marie.
Life lesson. Okay, so go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe, Wayne, we could do like Tom and I, back and forth, we'll do a speed round. You say dick or not a dick or something if they're not a good person. A speed round. Do you have like a minute? We can give I'll say a name and then Tom will give a name. I'm thinking of Ocean's 11, George Clooney.
Oh, total. I hate to say it, but his dick and his wife is a double dick. His wife, George Clooney's wife, they were so rude to me. George Clooney's wife has the breath of a dog, a foot, a cat box, a chicken coop, and death, all rolled into one. And she was they were so rude. And Cindy Crawford, my friend, is best friends with them, and I want to like them, but maybe they didn't know me, but they were really not nice to me.
So you're saying her tongue farted?
I'm not going to say that because I don't know what it was.
Amal, can I get you a breath mint, please? Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, I had I got to tell you the truth. I got to say, Dick, you want to know why? It's going to be in my book.
Why?
Kevin Aucoin had passed away, and this is a terrible story I'm going to tell. And Janet Jackson gave him a Chrome Hearts watch. Julia's going to be furious, I tell this. A Chrome Hearts watch, and it was diamonds and silver. And Kevin wore it all the time. And he did Julia's makeup, and Julia said, he died, and my best friend was Eric, Kevin's ex-boyfriend, and Eric said, you're not going to believe this. Marcy called, Julia's publicist. Julia wants the watch. I said, he's not even dead yet. He's dead like a day. And she goes, she wants the watch. And then Julia goes, we're at the funeral, and famous hairdresser who does Meghan Markle and all these people, Serge Normant, who I love, is there. Serge is there. I go, hey, Serge, at the funeral. And Julia walks up, and she lays her head on Serge. And she goes like this, and she says, I'm very sad. And we're all like, okay, Julia, great. And she's like, if I could only have the watch, then I could remember. And can you imagine someone's dead and for 3 days, all you want is a Chrome Hearts watch that you can buy yourself?
I can't wrap my arms around this.
She should have just said.
It's in my book. It's in my book, and it went on. This went on for 3 days. And then Eric said, Julia, Janet Jackson gave him that watch custom, and the only people that should get that watch back are Janet or Kevin's family. And Julia said, but the watch.
I got to have it.
I could remember him with the watch.
You know what you should have said? You should have gone, and scene.
No, I said, what time is it, Julia? Time to break up with that Okie Winoki from Skinoki you used to be married to? Next.
Still is.
What was his name?
The photographer.
Oh, no.
Danny.
No, the crazy
singer,
country one.
The singer, with the hair. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he was in The Player. Remember that?
Yeah. But, oh, my God.
We'll come up with it. But yeah, that was short. No, that was short-lived. That was short-lived.
There's got to be somebody typing on Google right now.
Yeah. We're gonna figure that out.
All right. Okay. So look, this is a show about scandal.
Brad Pitt.
Go ahead, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, my only experience was a quick meeting. I loved him very much. I think he's very smart and very kind and very funny. He can't help that he's a movie star, and that comes across, but not in a bad way. He was shooting with my friend Timothy White, and he was riding his motorcycle, and Timothy was in the motorhome. Maybe you shot with Timothy, Cato. And he was shooting outside the motorhome, and Brad was on the motorcycle. And you want to know something? He fell off, got hurt, never complained, got hurt, had to go to the hospital.
Damn.
But you know what? He was just a real guy. He's a real guy's guy and a kind soul. And I think people like Brad, when celebrity falls on them and they grab it and they do something with it, it works. Like Keanu Reeves also.
Yeah, he's from Missouri. Brad Pitt's from Missouri. Good people. My wife is from Missouri.
Keanu Reeves is a magic.
We probably know so many of the same people because back in the 90s when I did a GQ spread and then I did Rolling Stone with Mary Ellen Mark, the photographer.
Yeah, Mary Ellen's great.
I think she passed away also.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? She's wonderful. So I'm sure we had this, obviously, that same field of people coming up that would dress me. I was blown away because it was new to me as far as like, meet these people, go here, go to this party, go to this thing, have this publicist. Yeah. So I'm from Wisconsin, so I was very rooted. We've used the word rooted. So I was very rooted.
I'm a kid from New Jersey. I came from nothing.
Exactly. And then you can kind of, that's probably a gift that we have that you can kind of smell like,
sure,
nah, this isn't right.
Yeah, you can sense that out.
They're getting me in a bad situation.
You tell people, and then when they hurt you, you get really hurt because you really liked being liked.
Yeah.
That may sound childish, but it's true.
Well, it's disappointing to learn that that's what they're like for real, right?
Yeah.
And then the other part was just showbiz and fake.
I'm sure I've been an asshole too. So it's not like me judging anybody. No judgment here. Just you asked if they're a dick, I say they're a dick.
Yep. Yeah. Love the honesty. All right. So this is 1 degree of scandalous, and no one could be more one degree of maybe one of the biggest scandals of all time, of course. I got Cato over here, the biggest of all time. Maybe number 2 is what happened at the Super Bowl at halftime in 2004. Now, this is 18 years removed. You were in the middle of it.
18 years.
Yeah. You're cool to talk about it, right? We can open this up and go deep into this thing.
I'm totally cool. Listen, I have a huge, I don't even have to say this, I have a huge respect for Cato, me, respecting your celebrity friendships. So outside of the work with Janet, we're friends.
Yep.
So I say what I can say that in effect to me, but an 18-year-old secret's an 18-year-old secret. It's tired. So
sure.
At this point, I went to sell my book and 45 people turned it down and they said, no one cares about the Super Bowl. And then 5 documentaries came out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like,
well, hey, by the way, it's only the most Googled topic of all time, literally. Yeah. And the founder of YouTube basically launched YouTube because of this. Yeah. Because everybody wanted to find clips of it after it happened and there was nowhere to go. There was before YouTube. So this was bigger than big. There was congressional hearings about it.
YouTube and TiVo.
Yeah. I mean, look, the country
and TiVo were launched.
The country went nuts over this thing. And here's the crazy thing. And if you guys remember, this is the 2004 Super Bowl halftime. It was the Patriots against maybe Carolina. No, I can't remember who they're playing. I think it was in Houston.
It was Carolina.
Okay, you were there? You were at the game?
I was at that game.
Okay, so we can get your perspective too. Now, so Nelly was performing, P. Diddy was performing. This is how long ago it was. Jessica Simpson was part of that halftime act. She was like the one that introduced the whole thing, Kid Rock. So a lot of stars, right? And then this happened at the very end of the halftime. This is right when they get the stage done and, you know, the song and JT and Janet are dancing around and he reaches over and removes that part of her wardrobe. Now, you're the wardrobe guy. This is your girl. Set us up. How much of this was real? How much of it was going overboard? How much of it was a publicity stunt? Walk us through it, Lukas.
Well, what I say now about it is that, you know, Janet Jackson doesn't make mistakes. And somebody said, oh, Janet walked off the stage crying inside. Didn't happen. She wasn't crying. She wasn't sobbing. She was covered up. She got off the stage. She went and did her thing. And I will say I always say it was the most functioning wardrobe in history. And I usually just go about that far. But the truth of the matter is, there's a couple things that are important that people don't understand. The whole song was supposed to be Gonna Have You Naked by the end of this song. And on the beat, the end of this song, MTV was supposed to cut to black. And then fireworks were going to go off. So no matter what Justin and Janet did, you wouldn't have seen it. It would have been a feeling of what was going to happen. So remember, on one interview, the MTV producers go, oh, yeah, we were in the thing partying and we were popping champagne. And then we looked back and the phone rang and we saw what happened. What were they doing? Partying, popping champagne. On another interview, they say, oh, my God, we saw it happen. We started crying. They've changed their story 3 times. So the funniest thing to me is I was under the stage. I didn't see anything. I was underneath the stage. They roll you out. During halftime, they put you in this like box and they roll you out, and then the walls come down like a drawbridge and they build that stage around you in 1 minute. So all the pieces, it's loud and they're screaming, and it was me, Janet's makeup artist and her hairdresser under the stage, and one crew member with a walkie-talkie. Janet shoots up, I push the button, she does the performance, she comes down, I rip all of her clothes off. Now, I had to remember she wore 2 outfits. So I had to rip off the first outfit and snap back on the second outfit. So pay attention to that. There's a wardrobe change in there. And my assistants changed 45 dancers 3 times in 5 minutes in the dark.
Unreal.
So this was a huge production. So I push Janet goes, bye, Lukas, see you later. I push the button. She flies up for the second half of the song. And I'm underneath the stage going, I hear the cheers and everybody's going crazy. You hear the fireworks and I know the process and I'm waiting and they go, clear. And I go, dude, no, Janet's not down here. They go, Lukas, clear. I go, Janet is not here. It was my job, the bodyguard said, to take her back. So they go, we're going to clear. And they go, I said, I can't. And they said, tough. And the thing went dead and they put up the drawbridge. And next thing you know, we're rolling back without Janet. I don't know where Janet went off the stage. I don't know what happened after that. So I ended up meeting her later and we chat. I got off the field. They let me out. I got into a van and Janet was in the van. I undressed her. I redressed her in her clothes, still not knowing what had gone down. Undress her, redress her. And I come out and Big Rob, who was Britney's bodyguard, 6'7", grabs me by the back of the neck and he throws me into a van. Me. And I hear Wayne, and I look to the right, and my assistant Ron calls me, and he's throwing me this Prada backpack. Remember, Prada was nice back then. He throws me a Prada backpack. I catch the backpack. I get in the van, and in the front of the van is Lindsay, Scott, and Roger Davies, Tina Turner managers, Cher's managers. They're in the front of this beat-up, old, broken-down van. And I go, what's going on, guys? They go, you're going to L.A. I said, tonight? I'm not supposed to go till tomorrow. They go, shh. So I'm in the back of the van, and I'm going to the airport, and in my bag there's a backpack, and I'm thinking I'm supposed to go the next day to dress Mary J. Blige, Beyonce, and Janet for Essence magazine on Tuesday. This is Sunday, so now I'm in a van being taken to Los Angeles, not knowing why. I'm in Texas, so we pull up to they're on the phones back and forth, laughing, high-fiving, and then all of a sudden the mood changed. That's all I'll say, and the managers go, shut the fuck up, and then everything crashed. Like within 15 minutes of this cheering, it all went down the tubes. And I got out at the airport. Someone met me at the car and I opened my bag. My assistant didn't pack my wallet or my phone. We had no cell phones back then. It was like a giant, those giant phones. Mm-hmm. And that was 2004. It was just the beginning of the flip phones. And I got on the plane. The guy said, Mr. Lukas. I said, yes. Now, this is after 9/11? When was 9/11? 2000?
2001. So 3 years after 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah. So they let me on the plane with no ID. They walked me to the plane. I got on, in first class, and in walks Jessica Simpson's gay father. And he wasn't gay then. And in walks her father. And the makeup artist goes, you've got to meet Wayne Lukas. This is Janet Jackson's stylist. Oh my God. And they looked at me like I was trash. And they walked past me and they sat behind me and nobody would talk to me. Now, I still don't know what happened really because I was under the stage. Okay. So when you work with celebrities, am I talking too long or keep going?
No, go.
Come on, I'm on the edge of my seat. Talk to me.
He looks so bored over here. He's so bored. So I'm on the plane. Yeah. So we get off the plane. We have to change planes in Las Vegas. We get off the plane in Vegas, and now there's a million celebrities on the flight. Everybody left on this flight, except I don't know what I'm doing there, and how did I get in first class, and what's going on? I get off the plane. Jessica Simpson's father, gay, and his mother and Jessica are all sitting, the makeup artist, and they're fighting with the gate agent because the gate agent, they've let the next plane leave for Los Angeles.
The gay agent?
So every celebrity that left the Super Bowl got stuck in Vegas. So I'm in the airport. It's dark. It's 2 a.m, and I still don't know. And I call my assistant on a payphone. Remember the payphones?
Yeah.
I remembered my mom's calling card, 201-399-8428. I'm like, hey, Ron, where's Jaime? Jaime's Janet's business manager. I said, I'm in the fucking airport in Las Vegas. I don't have a phone. I don't have money. And I don't have my credit cards or my ID. And Ron goes, give me a minute. He hangs up. The phone rings. It's like a mystery. What's that? Get smart. Dun, I answer the phone. And it's like, Wayne, it's Jaime. In 2 minutes, there'll be a car outside. Get in. Tinted windows. Okay. So there's Jessica and them sitting there. They can't get a car because it's 2 a.m. They're sitting in the airport. I walk out. A car pulls up. Hello, Mr. Lukas. I get in the back. I go, hey, where are we going? He's like, you're going to the Venetian. I go, oh, really? He goes, yeah. And he goes, and in the morning, you're going to be picked up at 7 a.m. to go to LA. And I go, oh, okay. So now it's 3 a.m. I get in the car. We get to the Venetian and I walk in and I said, hi. They go, Mr. Lukas. And I'm thinking, no credit card, no money. I go, yeah. They go, we have your room ready. They slide me a key. And I'm like, this is like freaking unbelievable. Yeah. And Kato, you know what this is like if you're with some of them. Yeah. So I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I get taken up to my room, and I go in my room, and I'm so tired. And I remember I started the day at 6 a.m. It is now 4 a.m, Vegas time. Mm-hmm. I'm in the room, and I can't find anything. And I go and I find the TV remote control. I'm like, should I stay awake? Should I go to sleep? I go to the mini bar. I get in the bed. I turn on the TV, and every fucking channel is my life. It is like my career is over. CNN tit. I said this in my book thing. You'll see it. CNN tit, ABC tit, CBS tit. And remember this is very important. I started crying because I have a fear of authority, police. And I started to go like, because they said Janet Jackson's team is being arrested for
indecent exposure.
Cruelty against America. And I'm going, what am I doing? Why am I, like, I'm in Vegas. I don't know I have no money. And I'm falling to pieces. I really was. And I'm laying there watching every channel, and I start to check my cell phone back in New York. And some of my friends are saying, you're great. And my mother calls, who's born again. And she said, you've embarrassed the family. You've shamed the family. And all the pieces are coming together. And I'm thinking, what went on? And then I saw that breast over and over and over. And I remember everybody, these moms against America and these outrageous moms, the news channels, just like 9/11, when people were jumping out of the buildings, the first news channels covered the jumpers and then they stopped. Every news channel that first night showed her chest. And then they started blurring it.
Wow.
So they're just as responsible for showing something 72 million. That was on every day for 6 months.
Yeah, and it was a half second. That's all it was during the actual halftime.
9/16 of a second.
Yeah,
and nobody had.
That's it.
There was no such thing as large screen TV. Her nipple was this big. And nobody had a large screen TV back then. Remember them?
Or high def.
Nobody. Yeah. No, but nobody had it. Mm-hmm. So that's why TiVo and YouTube were created. So everybody who tells you, I remember what happened when I saw that, trust me, not one person in the whole world actually saw it and knew what was happening. You know where they saw it? On the reruns on television.
Yeah. Everywhere.
So subliminally now, the networks blame her, but they saw it 18 million times.
Well, everybody blamed her, Lukas. Everybody. I mean, she was blamed like it was her fault, her idea. Justin got off pretty easy here.
But have you guys seen did you see what happened years later? Years later, Janet Jackson did amazing charities for Colin Powell, the Colonel Colin Powell from the White House. She was doing all these, I was dressing her. And years later, you know who the head of the FCC was during the Super Bowl, right?
I don't remember.
Hi, Colin Powell's son, Michael Powell.
Okay.
Hello. And guess what? If you guys Google it right now, anybody watching, Michael Powell came out years later and said, Janet didn't deserve that. I did it for my own political gain. I owe Janet an apology. Isn't it funny? Just like Kaylin's story, that stuff gets hidden on the internet. Yeah. Nobody reads that stuff. Yeah. They just still read the bullshit. And every person that asked me to do, notice, I only did Janet's documentary. The other ones were all bullshit. Anybody who asked me to do it, I turned everybody down because out of loyalty to this big lie, you think Trump has a big lie? Out of loyalty to this, the truth is Michael Powell admitted, and you can look it up, that he did it for political gain.
Well, it was an opportunity, yeah.
And I also...
Well, and he said, I owe her an apology. And I remember Michael Powell and Colin Powell are cousins of Susan DePass. Susan DePass used to work for the Jacksons and did that Jackson movie. You know this, Kaylin. Yes, so it was wrong that they hurt each other. And then Les Moonves said, if that N-word ever thinks she's going to be successful again, I'll ruin her.
Well, he tried to ruin her. Banned her from CBS, from MTV, everywhere.
Well, me and Janet were going to be on the Grammys that Saturday, and I was going to be the new Joan Rivers on the red carpet. That was my career move. I was going to get out of styling and become the new red carpet guy because of what not to wear. And they fired Janet, and by firing Janet, Access Hollywood, which I'll call them out right now, they said they wanted me on, and they called my lawyer, and they said, you have to talk about the Super Bowl last night. And I said, I can't. And my lawyer said, Wayne cannot speak about the Super Bowl. And they said, if he doesn't speak about it, he's fired. So out of loyalty to my friend, I didn't talk about it. And I thought that was the right thing to do. And by not talking about it, I got fired. But then that night I had that TV show and I had really long hair. And a fan from What Not to Wear called and said, oh my God, Wayne, you look so good with short hair. And I said, I have short hair. I have long hair down to my butt. And they said, no, you were on Access Hollywood last night. Kato, you get this. Yeah. So I immediately called my lawyer. We got the tapes, and Access Hollywood put up a tape from 1996 where I'm talking about push-up bras, and the chyron says, Wayne Scott Lukas, Janet Jackson Stylist, comes to her defense exclusively.
I didn't think you could do that. That's unbelievable.
Well, tonight's the first night that you guys know. Lie after lie after lie.
God, that's unbelievable.
I always think that it's funny how after everything, cream always rises to the top. You have to suffer, and then the truth comes out years later when you go, see? And then you always have to wait and suffer, and then it comes out.
You know what the problem is? The way the world is now, unless you find good people, they don't want the cream. They keep wanting it sour because it makes it important to them, and it makes their. I mean, I can go on YouTube right now. I can read 97 comments, and 94 of them will tell me what happened at the Super Bowl. And I'll say, oh, no, guys, that's not what happened. And they will tell me, who the F are you? Especially this young crowd, these Gen Xers. I mean, these young ones, it's like, guys, you really think that you have like some. So it was the roughest thing I've ever done. I had to go into like a witness protection. I moved into Shutters.
In Santa Monica, the hotel. You literally lived in Shutters for a while?
Okay. Janet lived in Malibu. And we did it. Listen, you guys, we did a publicity tour right after that. We had Saturday Night Live. We had album cover shoots. We had video shoots.
I saw you on Letterman.
Yeah. We kept working.
Right.
Everybody else said that Janet didn't work. You know what? That album was one of the most successful albums. Hey, look at the numbers, people. All those stories it's just not true.
Lucas, let me ask you this. If you want to assign blame, 1, 2, 3, 4, for this event, is MTV at the top? Was that their fault? Or was this a mistake? Was this an accident? If you describe this, I mean, if the fireworks were supposed to go off, or is Justin Timberlake, I mean, he really got off scot-free. I don't know how Janet felt about him afterward, if she was annoyed and hurt by what he did, but how would you assign the blame for this?
I just went to dinner with 5 women. My friend Cara Young, supermodel Cara Young, and her friend Sarah, and 2 other people. And they said, would you mind? And I was just in the Janet documentary. And they said, would you mind if I told you how I felt about the documentary? I said, no, tell me. And I mean, I had a big part in it. And Janet made me a confidant, which I guess I was after, 38 years of loyalty. And she said, what bothered me the most about the Super Bowl and about the documentary was it's full of bigotry and misogyny. A gay man and a black woman lose their careers, lose their jobs, get put down, get thrown under the bus. And for what? All the other players were able to walk away scot-free. And me and Janet stood there like, I lost work. I lost a job with Spiegel. They said I had a morals clause in my contract. And because that happened around me, I lost work. So my life changed. And I just talked to Janet about it. I said, Janet, I lost a lot of money. She goes, we all did, Lucas. I said, no, Janet, it's not the same. And she goes, I understand what you're saying. I get it. But what bothers me the most about Justin is that when you meet Justin and you go into a room, it's like meeting Bill Clinton or like meeting like Barbara Streisand. Audrey Hepburn, you so understand why they're stars. There's this light and this magic and this talent. And I can't explain it unless you've been with enough celebrities. You guys may understand it, but you get kind of pushed back in the room because they're so a star, right? And Justin is like that, just sitting on the couch. So I think because of how that was managed, I think he really lost a huge part of his career by not coming clean and kind of playing along. But we were all told how to act and what to say. And by following Stephen Uvain and other publicists' ideas, we followed those in support of Janet. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it was the right idea, but 17 years later, I'm not going to play, I don't know.
Right. Well, we're all grown-ups here, right? We've seen worse on TV. By the way,
and where do you throw the blame? You throw the blame on not enough discussion of planning, not enough really knowing, because remember, you shoot the Super Bowl twice. This is a very sneaky thing that you guys know, because if the satellite goes down, they can play the videotape. So if I tell you those things, get your brain to start moving. The Super Bowl halftime show is shot twice. So you tell me why MTV didn't cut to the videotape.
Okay, explain that to me again. Wait, what do you mean they shoot it twice? So you shoot the halftime show rehearsal with the audience pulling into the stadium. So you're actually live shooting it on camera. So there's one in the can that's perfect. And then if the satellite goes down during the game, you can't have blank space, so they cut to the videotape.
So one was shot pre-game. One was shot pre-game. Okay.
Hi.
It's like Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live does always 2 sketches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anybody can challenge me on that because Miley Cyrus, 2 New Years ago, she was on stage, right? She had a wardrobe malfunction. Her jacket opened. Immediately, she turned around. They cut to the band. They showed the band. She fixed her top. She came out, and she did the rest of the show. Right. Janet, the top came off. The camera went on Janet, and the camera stayed on Janet.
Right.
And then the fireworks went off. Yeah. So put the pieces together and just start to go like, oh.
Right. Ratings.
Oh, really?
So, exactly right. Hey, I was going to ask, with all the celebrities that were at that Super Bowl from, you mentioned Kid Rock. Who was the names?
Nelly was performing, P. Diddy.
Rock, P. Diddy. So all those people are there. Do you think that yourself, Janet, or Justin are saying, hey, we got to make us the standout. We've got to do this.
No.
Okay.
No, because remember, Janet had like a 900-piece marching band. I mean, and a war had just broken out with George Bush. And the original idea that we were talking about was Janet, she may not agree, but I remember our conversation. Janet was going to do Rhythm Nation because she wanted the whole idea of that show was for the nation to come together as one because we had just gone to that first big war in our lifetime. And then they didn't use that song, but then they did use rhythm. We were going to do George's song, the war song. War is stupid. People are stupid. That was the first idea. So then she did Rhythm Nation, and we had a 900-piece marching band. We had balloons that said no bigotry, no hate. Did anybody pay attention to that? Or the 4 costume changes or the people hanging off the skiffs? No, they paid attention to 9/16 of a second. That the truth of the matter is, who's to blame? What can I tell you? I made the outfit. Janet wore the outfit. Justin touched the outfit. MTV didn't push the button. And at the end of the day, it's 17 years ago. And it does matter, but it only matters because people were thrown under the bus that should never have been thrown under the bus. It's like, who just said that? Let him who's without sin cast the first stone.
Right, right. Yeah. Hey, look, this may sound like a really stupid question. It was such a big event in the history of America.
I gave you a good scoop.
No, without a doubt. Everything you're saying is a great scoop. Do you wish it had never happened? I mean, you never want this. You never hope for it. Clearly, you didn't plan it, maybe. But no, do you wish you had never experienced this?
I will honestly say, I wish it didn't. No, can I just say one religious thing?
Yes.
God is the source and God is my source. I'm not going to preach to you guys, but the process of God's love coming down and whatever our hands and eyes do, like right now talking, even though we're joking, we're sharing insight with people and it's not coming through me and it comes from somewhere else. So, the speed bumps, these speed bumps are so severe, but the speed bumps in life make you enjoy the smooth ride better. And do I wish it didn't happen? For Janet Jackson's sake, and for the sake of what she was trying to promote in that show about no bigotry, no hate, no war, I wish it didn't happen for those reasons because the focus came off the magic of the Super Bowl. And if I could tell you guys in my heart how excited we were when she got it, we could not wait to do the Super Bowl. We were so excited. I mean, 5 months of fittings, dance rehearsals. You don't screw something up like that on purpose. Yeah, it was. And so for my sake, I wish it didn't happen for my sake because I wasn't savvy enough not to be thrown under the bus by publicists and managers telling me what I should and shouldn't do and me obeying. Because my one friend called me and says, like, Cato, you went through this with the tragedy. You're going to be so famous. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to be that famous. What did that mean? And by me not doing that, I didn't promote myself and I hid.
Yeah.
And it got worse.
Well, and for both of you guys, there's no handbook for something like that. You get thrust in the middle of a tornado and you're just like thinking minute to minute and day to day, I would imagine right away.
It's like,
but the reason why I did the show is because I'll be honest with you, Cato, the tragedy, I'm not going to bring up the whole thing, but the tragedy of being connected to something that was so bad and just showing up because we were naive or we were available or we didn't really pay attention to what was going on and we were kind of at the end of the day, it really damaged all of us. And I know you got damaged. You can come out the other side now, but it's damaging. And then your friend gets hurt and then you lost a friend.
Yeah.
it It wasn't just a case that was a cold case. You lost a friend.
And I don't get all religious like that with the God thing, but I've told Tom this before. I was an actor before the trial, and no one knew me, but I had an actor. I had my SAG card forever. But the thing is, God gives you a blueprint in life, and they say, no, Cato, you got a different path. So whatever, and that's why I keep saying that the cream rises, even though I'm lactose intolerant, but the cream will rise. And it's sort of like, okay, I went backwards. I became famous before proving. So now I've got to do everything backwards, but I'm having a great time doing it. And I think, I hope we're very successful at what we're doing. And I think it just keeps getting better and better and better. And it's going to happen.
But you understand. Yeah. You understand that by like you speaking to me and me speaking to you tonight, by speaking about the pain and the tragedy. I'm telling you, my boyfriend committed suicide in 2010. I lived through that. And by speaking about the pain and tragedy you went through, I went through, I swear to God, everybody out there, the way you're going to heal is to watch that other people tell you, get back up. You're going to make it. You're going to be okay. Because no matter how tough one of your, if it's a Howard Stern listener or it's a serious, crazy listener, everybody has these tragedies and these speed bumps. And by discussing the speed bump, you can discuss the healing. And you can say it fast because people don't want to know, but there's great healing in this. Yeah. And there's great 100%. Love in this. And there's great sharing. And it didn't kill us.
And you're 100% right. And you actually have a connection to that trial with, I think, Paula. Do you want to say that story?
Which one?
Paula Barbieri.
Yeah, you have a connection.
Oh yeah, I told you my friend Cara just called me. She said, "You're doing Cato's show." Her nephew is named Cato Kalin. He's been since he's 3. He's like, I'll send you his picture. He's wonderful. He's named after you.
I love it.
His name is Kalin, so we call him Cato Kalin on Instagram. It's Cato. It's Cato Kato. Train me, please, on Instagram. He's a great guy.
Okay,
he's right now running for the Every Mother Counts charity for Christy Turlington, the New York Marathon for the 9/11 people.
I love it.
My friend just told me Paula Barbieri kept saying, how come I can't get work? Why does Cara keep working? And how come I can't get a job? She was talking to Paul Fisher, her agent. And her agent kept saying, Cara's working because, they want that type of girl now. And Paula's like, how come she's working? I don't happen every time. And then at the end, this is so shady. Please don't hate me. But then Paul Fisher finally said, because her boyfriend didn't allegedly kill 2 white people.
Yeah, that's
facts are facts, right?
Yeah,
makes a difference.
Yeah,
and did you like that I said allegedly?
You slid that in perfectly.
You did it differently before in the rehearsal.
The first time we
taped 2 of them. So just like you said, we taped 2, and we'll use one of them.
Hey, Lukas, you were absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time. Did you get your wallet back at the Super Bowl? Did it finally come back to you?
My wallet, my assistant. See, I was a jerk then, and my assistant I was like so mad, but I got my wallet back. I hid at Shutters. The best part about hiding at Shutters is I'd have to come in very early in the morning. So I had this tinted window. Oh, want to hear anything, another thing or no?
Yes, of course.
So I landed off that terrible plane ride in Beverly Hills, and I was staying at the Peninsula of the Four Seasons. But back then, the Four Seasons or the Peninsula had a wall of payphones. Remember that? It was like 40 payphones in the lobby.
That was the Four Seasons.
Four Seasons. So I get out. There's a big white van there. Oh, get ready, white, not a white Bronco, a white van. There's a big white van there, and I pull into the driveway, and I see Olivia Newton-John. Now Roger Davies, who's Janet's manager, is Olivia Newton-John's manager. So I look out the window and I go, Liv, and she looks at me and she's like, Wayne, she's walking over to the van, and there's all these paparazzi. There's like, I can't tell you, it was like, it looked like 150 paparazzi are coming in that little parking lot toward the van. And I'm like, okay, let's just get this over with it. She wants to talk to Olivia Newton-John. And we're sitting and she goes, how are you? I said, I was just with Roger. And she goes, where the fuck is Janet? I go, you motherfucker. Somebody told the people on the plane, because back then, everybody out there, stylists weren't famous. My face was never seen. I was always backstage except for my TV shows, so nobody knew I was Janet's stylist. So it was either Jessica Simpson's father, somebody tipped off somebody that I was on the plane, and they attacked. God. They were hitting the van, rocking the van, and Olivia Newton-John goes, I better go, Wayne. They didn't even look at her.
Wow.
So she walks away. I get out of the van. I go into the lobby. I see my 5 assistants there, and the guy behind the desk I walk up to the desk. He goes, Mr. Lukas? I go, yeah. He goes, you have a phone call on the wall. I'm like, okay. And the phone starts ringing. So I turn around and I walk to the wall. I pick up the phone. I'm like, hello. He's like, Wayne, remember Jaime from before?
Yeah.
Janet's manager who got me. Wayne, it's Jaime. We know what's happening. Go out the back, go down the stairs. There's a van in the back. Get in the van. Have your assistants take the white van. They can go to the studio. And they went off in the white van. The paparazzi chased them. And I went down the back and I went to Shutters. And then I got stuck in Shutters for 3 months. And I was going to Malibu and 28122 Pacific Coast Highway. Don't forget that address, the old Janet house. I go back and forth from Shutters to there to work. And we worked every day.
Amazing.
And the best part of that, I came in. You want to hear one more thing?
Yeah.
He keeps wanting to stop me, and these are good stories.
I know, you're great.
I'm saying go.
No, go for it.
Are you kidding?
I pulled in at 4. And I don't know if Halle remembers this. I was dressing Halle Berry for Revlon, and I pulled in at 4 a.m. To Shutters. I had been somewhere that night. Oh, me and Janet got in a car accident in her. She had one of the Aston Martins from the James Bond movie, you know, the only 5 made. Yeah. And she was driving in high heels, and we pulled into the parking garage of the Four Seasons earlier to have pancakes, and she hit another car, so that was another drama. So we
leave a note on the windshield. Sorry.
I was coming back, and I'm pulling into the parking lot at Shutters. You know, it's all quiet. And what do I see? You know those giant magnums of champagne that are like as big as a person?
Yep.
And you know that old picture of like Charlie Chaplin on the lamppost, like the tramp?
Yep.
You know that old famous picture?
Yeah, of course.
Guess who was the tramp?
You.
Fuck, no, bitch.
Robert Downey Jr.
Close.
Will Smith.
Fucking Eric Benet, who had been married to Halle, had just been screwing some chick, allegedly.
Busted.
In Shutters. And I caught him coming out with the champagne, drinking it. And I got on my phone and I called Halle on the set of James Bond. And I said, let her know Eric Benet just left Shutters Hotel. And then they broke up.
Wow.
She was playing
I'm telling you, you can't get away with anything in Hollywood. You're going to run into somebody that knows you. That's great. That's a great story.
Look at me now.
And that Bond
to close this,
made her really famous.
I'm an old man now. These are just stories. And you know what? No judgment. God bless them all. And I hope that we can all keep hitting the speed bumps of life and kind of speeding up over them and having better times.
I love it. And also, how do we get your book? Is it coming out? And is it?
You know, I've had a really tough time. I've had a tough time getting it published. It went out for to show people during the pandemic, and nobody was in the office. Then people said nobody wanted the Super Bowl. Then Janet had asked me take it out, and so I did. And I'm going to send it back out now to see who I can get. I need to get a publisher. So we're looking to get a publisher.
Hey, I'll reach out to you. I'm in the publishing world, okay? I'm going to reach out to you about this, 100%, okay? I will call you after the show.
Tom has 40 published books, at least 40.
Yeah, but I know, I will talk to you. That'll be another topic. Hey, okay, we got to go, but I want you to be able to promote.
Show me Janet's tit. That's what he's saying. He's saying, show me Janet's tit.
By the way, okay, so here's one thing. Wayne Scott Lukas, the greatest guest of all time here on this show, he's got something going on with a Versace dress that was originally worn by Tina Turner. The last dress, the last garment made by Gianni Versace before he was murdered. Tell us about this.
It's going to be auctioned off in Vegas. Don't say murder.
Okay.
It's a trigger word.
Okay, I take it back. We'll go to the original broadcast of the original taping of this.
No, I love him. That's part of the joke.
It's triggered.
He's
an
actor also.
Look, I get this from Cato all the time. I should be ready, man. I should be programmed.
Cato started to sweat.
No, not at all.
Tell us how we can
but with due respect, that was just a joke, but I don't joke about that because the family still is bothered by it. So God bless.
God bless. Yeah, and about the dress.
So the Tina Turner dress, it's a 2-piece outfit. The original sold for $75,000 a piece. It's Swarovski crystal and lace. I'm selling a tour jacket, the Wildest Dreams tour, a backstage pass. They're going to be sold as NFTs and at the auction. And I'm selling this Tina Turner dress. It's the last thing Versace made for a celebrity before he passed away. There's hand stitching in it and his original Gianni Versace label, the Couture House. So I think I was going to give it to a museum, but it's already traveled to museums, and I thought it's time to share it. I'm going to give money to Every Mother Counts, Christy Turlington's charity, and I'm going to give money to Abused Women, which was one of Tina's, big things because of what she went through with Ike. Sure. So I hope that it goes for a good amount, and there's only one of a kind in the whole world.
Oh,
Tina Ward,
one of one.
Yeah,
and that thing will go for a lot. The last thing that Gianni Versace,
it's got
iconic legend made. Is there a website, Wayne? Anything that we can promote here?
It's outlawNFT.com. It's the first time an NFT is going to be sold with an auctioneer. These people, Christy Loving
very cool.
and her family has this big auction company. So come to Vegas.
Well,
and if you guys won't, If you guys have someone that wants this, I have a giveaway of 2 gold membership VIP passes to that October 11th and 12th.
We know certain people, but you got to promise.
Your followers.
You got to promise to come on because our segment of Dick or Not a Dick might be a big hit. We may have to use you for Dick or Not a Dick.
We'll do it the Venetian where you were stranded until Jaime saved you. Jaime! Everybody needs a Jaime in their life. No doubt about it.
Can you guys come to Outlaw NFT?
Yeah, probably.
Vegas?
Yeah.
Let's know the dates.
I'll get you invited. We'll do Dick but no Dick.
Yeah, okay, Dick, no Dick, and get us hotel rooms.
What are you talking about? You talking about Caitlyn Jenner, or is that transphobic?
I don't know if Caitlyn still has a dick or not.
Let's discuss it.
He has it. He has it.
It's still there?
Because he has it, and I don't want to be transphobic. I've worked really hard on this. I've learned a lot, but I think he has it.
I don't know. Technology
correctly. I think
she has it. You know what? Yeah. That'll be the cliffhanger that we leave the show on.
I used to golf with Bruce on the men's tees, but I really did.
I believe you.
Yeah, I did a lot of golf tournaments.
Hey, what'd you say? I missed that.
I was, I did a lot of the celebrity golf tournaments. Bruce would be there when he was hitting off the men's tees. So now I wonder if he does the tournaments if he's hitting off the women's tees. He's got to be right.
Overshooting the green, probably. Yeah,
but
he's a good golfer.
And again, to not be transphobic, he wears a short golf skirt. Just look. If there's lumpy in
I haven't seen him golf. As a woman, I have not seen it. Caitlyn golfing yet.
It's funny. I have just seen clips of it, but it's the same golf swing, but just in a skirt. It's different.
Do you know technology, Wayne, Scott, Lukas, technology is very confusing. They now, Tom, as I told you, they have a sonogram now that can actually dictate and tell you if your baby will be gay or not. So if the umbilical cord has sequins, the baby's gay.
Wait, if what has sequins?
The umbilical cord.
I thought you were going to say if it looked like you.
Whoa! Dick or not a dick? Don't make me vote, baby. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Hey, Wayne, Scott, Lukas, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Great show.
Appreciate it. Love you, man. That was
Good
awesome.
Stuff.
Really appreciate it. We'll see you in Vegas.
Cathartic.
Thanks.
Cathartic.
Okay.
We love Wayne.
All right, that's a classic. I mean, you wish more people that have worked around stars like that were that honest.
Yeah,
right?
it's fantastic.
And why not just tell the truth, right? That was classic. That one's going to live on and on and on. All right, you guys heard it. Glad you could join us. Make sure if you're listening to this, you go check it out on YouTube because you got to see Wayne there.
I think Wayne prefers your tube, but seriously, I don't know. But it is 1 Degree of Scandalous. You got to subscribe to on YouTube, and of course, you can get our podcast on Apple. But YouTube, you can actually see Wayne, who's got lovely hair.
Yeah,
mine from the '90s. Tom, what a show!
That was fun.
That could be two. We need to get Wayne back on.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so we'll go see him in Vegas. Thanks for watching, everybody. You got any parting shots here? I'm going to see you tomorrow. Poker tournament.
We're doing Celebrity Poker. You got to tell me all about it.
I'll give you the details. Okay, then we're going to be hanging. We're going to be hanging tomorrow. Can't wait for it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Episode 19 here at Action Park Media. Thanks for Dave hanging with us here and producing this thing so splendidly. And have a great week. Thanks for watching, everybody. 1 Degree of Scandalous with Kato Kalin and Tom Zenner.